you how to create your own fitness programs. Okay, so first of all, the first thing you need to know is what is your goal. So there's three main goals that you need to decide where you're going to be at. So is your goal fat loss? Is your goal muscle building? Or is your goal just to maintain your current weight that you're at? So all of these three goals require different types of fitness, different types of movement, different types of tempos, and also the way that you create your program changes. So if your goal is fat loss, you must do cardio and strength training in combination from 5 to 6 times a week. That is the gold mark there. You must have some type of cardio, minimum 3 times a week, okay? And definitely strength train around 4 to 6 times a week. That is mostly ideal to get the best fat loss response out of your body. For muscle gain, you want to do strictly strength training 5 to 6 times a week, and you actually don't need to do any cardio. You can do cardio if you like it, but just don't overdo it. But the main goal there is just to do strength training 5 to 6 times a week. And then if your goal is to maintain, then you want to do 3 times a week of strength training minimum, grabbing all main body parts, and then doing 1 or 2 days of cardio, or just daily walking, trying to get at least 10,000 steps a day. So that is where you start off. So what is your goal? Second step is you need to determine your reps and your set ranges. So for fat loss, you want anywhere over 15 repetitions. This is going to increase a lot of metabolic stress on your body. It's going to increase a lot of fatty acids, and it's going to help you get better results. And you want to lift around, say, moderate to heavy weight, not super heavy, because when you go too heavy, you can't really do that many reps. So you have to go somewhere in between, but not too light either, where you're going like past, say, 20 reps. Then if you're not exhausted by 20 reps, your weight is too light, you have to increase the weight. Also too, when it comes to, say, fat loss, you want to incorporate maybe 1 or 2 HIIT strength training exercises. So something like, like maybe 1 minute of push-ups. Oh no, maybe not 1 minute push-ups. That's too much. 1 minute of squats with 30 seconds of push-ups, and then you repeat that. So those are all strength exercises, but they're like high intensity type of training. So they're back to back, very fast, something like a superset or a giant set. We take 3 exercises, repeat them back to back without a break. So that's one way of doing it too. And then, doing 2 or 3 heavy lifting workouts, anywhere between 45 minutes to 60 minutes is more than enough. Anything more than 60 minutes, your body is really under a lot of stress. You're probably going to break down more muscle tissue than anything, and that's going to go totally against your goals. So try to keep it within 45 minutes. If you're texting a lot in between, taking a lot of breaks, then just look at your actual working time frame and be objective and say, yeah, I actually did 45 minutes, even though I was in the gym for an hour and a half, right? So be objective about that. When it comes to muscle building, so muscle building, you want to do anywhere from 8 to 12 repetitions, and you want heavy weight lifting. You want to shoot anywhere between 4 to 5 sets, and then you want to do maybe 1 HIIT strength session a week, just to kind of like switch it up a little bit. I wouldn't say fool your muscles. You can't really fool your muscles, but maybe just like rev up your metabolism, change things up a little bit, make things a little bit interesting. And then you want to do 5 to 6 days of heavy lifting, strength training, all body parts. The best way of doing this is like splitting up your body parts. So say, for example, one day is chest and arms. The next day is back. The next day is legs. Then we go to shoulders. Then we go to glutes. So splitting up your body parts throughout the week is a really good way of doing this, because it's going to help you build that muscle. Okay. And because you're spending more time in that session, just focusing on that one muscle group. So you're able to do a lot of different types of exercises, a lot of angles, and a lot of variety. So when it comes to maintaining your results, you want to just really do just 3 days of strength training a week, anywhere from 12 to 15 repetitions. And you can probably just be good with that. Just make sure the intensity is high, that you're actually feeling it. You want to walk out of the gym feeling like, I had a really good workout. You don't want to walk out of the gym and saying, well, I didn't feel like nothing, right? So you always want to walk out of the gym a little bit challenged. So you can do that. If you want to add cardio, you can. But just watch your body weight. So if your body weight starts creeping up, that means that you're either A, eating too much, B, maybe your intensity is not as high as it should be, or 3, you may need a little bit of cardio in there to balance out everything for you. So step number 3, How do you change up your workout program? So if you've been doing a workout program for 4 weeks, anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks is where you want to change things up. And you can either change things by different things. So you can either increase the sets. So if you're doing 3 sets right now, the exact same exercises, and just increase to 4 or 5 sets. That changes everything. That changes your entire metabolism and how your body responds to that workout. Or you can increase repetitions, right? Or you can decrease repetitions and increase weight. So you see there's very different things that you can do there. You can change the tempo. So instead of doing a 1:0:1 ratio, so 1:0:1 ratio, say this is the bicep curl. So this is 1:0:1. So there's no pause at the bottom, at the top of the contraction. And there's like a small pause like here. It says 1:0:1, right? So way you can do that is you can do like say a 2:1 ratio. So 1:2:1, 1:2:1. So that changes everything in the bicep, puts more stress on the muscle. You can do that with any type of exercise. You can also focus on eccentric. So eccentric is like lowering the weight slower. And that is really where a lot of the muscle growth happens. It doesn't really happen in the contraction part when you're lifting. It actually is more when you're lowering. So for example, if you're doing a bicep curl, that's the contraction. And then if you go really slow coming down, that's the eccentric. And that's where you're going to get more growth, more tension, really burns. So that's a great way of doing it. I wouldn't add that to every single exercise in your program, just add it to some. Another thing too is like changing the angles of your feet. So if you're doing a squat and your feet are straight out in front of you like this, and your feet are within shoulder width, that works more of your quadriceps, the front part of your leg. But if your feet are out like this, and a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, right, like that, your feet, then that works more of your glutes. If your feet are really wide and more like a plie, that works more of your inner thigh. So positioning your feet really makes a big difference in the exercise as well. And then adding bands to your lifts with dumbbells or barbells. So say for example, if you're doing a hip thrust, you can add a band around your thighs and do that hip thrust, and that changes everything because now you're stimulating the upper glute muscle. So when you do a hip thrust, all you're really stimulating, depending on the length of your leg that is out, is either the hamstring and the glutes. And then when you add a band, you're working the upper glutes, so this part right here. So that really changes the exercise as well. So last but least, so how do you know if you're actually getting results? So your progress pictures will tell you a ton. Okay, so make sure that you take your pictures every week. I really recommend every week because if you let more than 1 week slide, then it's easy for you to get into a bad habit and say, oh, I won't check it this week, I won't check it this week. And then when you do check it, usually it's not what you want it to be. So it's really good just to do your pictures like the same day of the week, the same time. I usually do mine Sunday mornings. And that way I can just look back and forth and see, do I see changes? What do I need to change in my workout? And I have an honest, conversation with myself. Have I really been doing everything that I was supposed to do? Were my workouts intense enough? Did I do my entire program? Did I walk out of the gym earlier than I needed to? Like all of those questions you need to ask yourself and be really honest with yourself. You need to learn how to be your own coach on how to be objective about your results and try not to put any emotions in it and just put facts in there and then take those facts and propel forward. And the other thing too is recording. Recording is so, so important. People fail to do this, and this is a very big mistake because you possibly cannot remember all the exercises that you did, how many reps, how many sets, and how much weight that you ddid. And so when you're walking to the gym the next time and you're doing the same program and you didn't write stuff down, how are you going to know if you're increasing in strength? How are you going to know if your workout is intense enough? How are you going to know if, you're going to be able to maintain your results? You just can't know when you don't have that data written down. So that is it, you guys. That is how you take your workout that you have now and really change it up. So hopefully that helps you. I'm here if you need anything. Okay, thanks so much. Vivi.